Hey, what is up everybody, Blaze for here, and today I have for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video guys, we're going to be talking about a few things that Atlus itself can do to better this game a little bit more, in which, oh lord, there's not really too much they really got to do, but I'm not gonna lie, there's some things that I would per se be a little bit optional, really something that I think a lot of players would really enjoy if was added. So as always, you guys, if you enjoy my videos, be sure to sit back, relax, and just keep on watching. And as usual, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're new, we do daily videos of P5X, whether it's just Atlus talking as well as the Persona type deal. So go ahead and get straight into it. So for P5X itself here, we do have a lot of things that are currently inside of this game. I've been covering things ages ago for this game, ever since it did drop, but there are a few things that it is lacking. Now, P5X itself is pretty much just literally Persona. You can do everything you want to do. It feels very smooth. Things look very nice. And this game is a PC game with a phone port as well. And as time is going on, we're going to be seeing it actually come over to consoles and everything's like that. So of course, there has to be a lot of things that people are going to want to do in this game that I feel like are still not in here. So let's go ahead and talk about them. So in the upcoming updates, we're going to already have a couple things where it comes down to different activities, different gameplays and things of that nature. But there are just a few things that I feel like Persona 5X is actually lacking in. One of those main bullet points that I want to go ahead and elaborate on is the RPG aspect. Now, as all, this is a gacha game at the end of the day. There are some things that you can very well so do and just have a little bit of fun with. There are some things that you won't be able to do due to, of course, stamina and things of that nature. But one of the few things that I feel like is lacking inside of P5X is definitely the RPG aspect. We mainly have at least the instances, which are okay. They're there. They're all right to see every now and again. And of course, we have our activities. We have our Velvet trials and things of that. But we don't have that core thing that made P5 or just any of the Persona series the Persona series, which was just RPG things. Currently, we just literally only have different instances. We only have different points in times where we can do certain things, and just the normal old story-based things. But one of these instances that I want to say the RPG aspects should be in for is kind of the palaces as well as mementos. Mementos I want to actually dive into a little bit later because I have a little bit more to add to that. But palaces, for example, palaces are huge in this game. They are a major thing, of course, when it comes down to it. Just any of the what's it called, any of the stories, they're a huge deal. They're always something that you can do in these said palaces, and as you continue going on, each palace is getting more elaborate. Go ahead and look back at least at map 1 here. You have the first palace, which you go ahead and travel to and check out everything in here. It is pretty big itself and has a ton of different little rooms. But compared to the other palace, which is Palace 2, we also have a lot to do here. But once you do complete these guys, there's really no real need to come back here other than, of course, if you maybe forgot some chests and just picking those up. What I would like to see, especially I feel like Atlus should try to do some way and incorporate it. It could be later down the line. It could be sometime soon. I highly doubt they're going to see this video anyways, unless you guys blow this up and we'll get some shares and stuff like that on it, which please do. But we want to have something to do in the palaces. If you can go ahead and tell, we of course still get EXP. We still get soul gems and stuff like that. You could very well, if you run out of just EXP in general to actually farm said soul gems, you can go ahead and just run around the palace the entire time and just get up soul gems. If you don't have the EXP pages to just normally item level your units, you can very well go around, one shot some of these guys and just easily just keep on moving by your day. But the thing about P5 itself, or just most of the Persona series, is we weren't always just going around doing this. There was some need, but with this, we actually had real level grinding. The levels weren't very small. They weren't anything like that. They had a lot of things and in-depth versions to them where we were actually able to go up these set levels. These set levels will help us get different little things that we needed and overall enhance our gameplay. While over here, these little level and EXP amounts are very little. Now, it does make sense of why, seeing of course it is a gacha. You want to use your stamina system, because if we're being honest, if everyone was using their stamina here, and I'm actually just gonna let him smack me because I want to get into a fight, but if we're just gonna go ahead and just let everyone use their stamina here and never use your stamina, there would be no real reason to come here. There would be no real reason to do any like instances. You could just easily save up all of your stamina to dungeons. But I was talking with some people, especially some higher people who were kind of far into the game as well, like me. There needs to be something that gives us that RPG feel, right? You don't want to feel like everything is always almost like a gacha, which in this game, majority of the time, you won't really feel it being like a gacha until like you start doing like your daily grind, like your dailies. Of course, dailies are always going to feel like gacha side, but everything doesn't feel like it should be as smooth as an RPG, which that's what Persona is built off of. Based on how people really like that like RPG stat, or at least that RPG feel, adding something similar to like this inside of at least P5X would be worth it. If anything, you can even add a stamina system to this somehow, that you can do a certain amount of these every day where you get legitimate EXP, legitimate drops for this stuff, and it would be worth it, because at this point it gives you a reason to go back to each palace here, go fight these little mini bosses inside the palaces, because every day you get like maybe 8 little things you can go ahead and get in here. They give you like some decent items, some decent EXP gain, and actual just things to help out your overall experience. I feel like this is something that P5X is definitely missing. Seeing a lot of us, we already do enjoy the experience that we're getting here, but I think this would be great to actually add more of that RPG aspect. But you guys let me know what you think about that. Now on to the next thing here, a rework into Heart Rail. Now Heart Rail is a fairly interesting little game mode here. This game mode has been boring for the longest bit of time, and they did say they were going to rework it and add actually more tracks. Now they did rework it. It is a little bit better because now you can pretty much use this roguelike mode, get more different like what's it called, get all these different little set effects and stuff like that, which is really nice. That is really good. But the only issue that I have with this actually is not this. It's actually just going to be coming down to straight up how Heart Rail itself works, right? We don't have really anything inside of Heart Rail that is worth it. If you get what I'm saying, there's nothing that's really worth it. Once you get the one-time rewards, that's about it. Once you go ahead and collect some of the items and you don't really feel like deep diving into the items, there's no need to do so. The main rework that they decided to do with this was actually add a couple train lines, and then of course now if you click this little checkbox and click this, it automatically completes it, which is pretty nice. But all this does is kind of just speed up the process. It doesn't make it any more boring. If anything, it gets you to the final level a little bit quicker, which then you get to the exciting fight, but it's also going to be the harder fight, and it's still going to be kind of a slumber fest, which is not really a lot of things that a lot of us do enjoy. So I feel like when it comes down to this, they would need to rework this in a certain way like this. Now, this is something I've been hearing a lot in my streams. I've been also hearing a lot in person, and people have been telling me, hey, Heart Rail is one of these modes that they can keep it exactly how it is. You can keep the train tracks, you can keep everything that you need here, but inside this game, there are gear cards that we can't fully get other than just kind of, I guess you could say, hoping we get them in different little events and hoping we get them in guild boss and stuff like that. That's the only time we can get these set cards. These cards are called universal cards, or how I call them, arcane cards here, and they're usually meant to get a full set of something. Now I feel like what they need to do with Heart Rail is actually add these cards to make sure they're available to actually be farmed in there, much like how Honkai Star Rail does have at least their simulated universe, which is pretty much what Heart Rail is. They have their simulated universe, and then you have another instance where you can start farming said cards after you use like a bunch of buffs. What we would do is you would run Heart Rail once, have to run it once at least a week, of course, as always, get the set effects that you have on your characters, get all those buffs, and then you take it to another side of Heart Rail that's going to just basically face you against a boss, and you can farm these said universe cards. These universe cards, I have a lot of them just because I just purchase a lot of things, as well as I always do guild boss 24/7, but they're not always available easily, right? They're kind of hard to get sometimes, and they can be a little bit of a problem. So for many of us, that will probably be something good to at least add into the game, and I feel like a lot more people will appreciate that, especially when it comes down to at least making P5X better and having something better to at least get out certain characters or certain actual arcane cards. Now, when it comes down to the next thing I want to talk about at least the idea of random time missions or just randomized real-time missions that happen in Mementos. Mementos is another part of the RPG aspect that I feel like P5X is actually lacking in, and I feel like they need to actually elaborate on Mementos to make it a little bit more worth it. So if we go ahead and check here, Mementos is one of these few areas that you'll go ahead and go in and you will always go ahead and do. There's going to be some monsters down here, or at least shadows in here. There's several levels to it, as always. There's multiple levels, and there's so many more down here, as you can see, that we will slowly get out. But each of these levels are going to slowly have a certain like level of mobs that you can go against. There's going to be a certain amount of people and things that you can get out of here, do with here, and it's always going to have something in here. Now, the only issue with Mementos is once you complete each level and you get all the tickets out of there, you do everything that you really need to do out of here, you're not going to be doing too much of anything else, right? So each one of these levels have this little ticket vendor, which whoops, I accidentally did that too. And these ticket vendors will give you EXP for your main character, give you gems, give you sometimes outfits and cool little stuff here, while also just going ahead and allowing you to proceed further into Mementos. But as you can tell, it's barren, right? There's nothing really to do. This used to be a boss room in here, and there's no longer a boss. There's no real shadows that really want to fight you, and everyone that you really can fight, you can go ahead and just do that and be on your way. Once again, we don't get any rewards for these too much as well. I feel like real-time missions, or at least missions that just kind of randomly spawn, much like kind of the patrol missions that we currently do have, where we log into the game, we just put some people into patrol, aka these guys. I feel like having something like this that you can do a couple times a day, or either that a couple times a day and they refresh a little bit later on in the day, would make this game a lot more lively. Not only does it add on to the RPG aspect, but it could be very helpful, seeing that by doing these said missions, you may get some EXP books. By doing these said missions, you can probably get 20 gems or something out of it. By doing these missions, you can get cash to help you buy things for your confidants. Or even by doing these said missions, you may be able to get little gifts, items that can help you out in battle, and things of that nature. I feel like this would be a good addition to the game, and although it does sound a little complex, and I'm pretty sure I'm just thinking shallow from a consumer point of view and not from a developer point of view, this is going to be something that would really make this game thrive, especially if you guys really want to see it. Now, you all can tell me how you feel about that. I feel like this would be a great addition, but who knows? I may not be at least too right about that. And of course, how it may be actually getting to work may be a little bit harder than I'm actually kind of explaining. But the next thing and the final thing, you guys, continue being great. That is the best way that Atlus can continue doing good for this actual game. The main things they should be doing is continue being great. There's not a lot of things that are ultra predatory when it comes down to money, such as this, right? A lot of things are affordable. A lot of things aren't really shoved in your face all the time. So I'm really actually proud of that. Of course, mainly the affordable things, right? Get these things, that's like a couple bucks, $5, $3. And this is like at least a good 10 bucks as well for just the, and that's all you need if you ever wanted to spend small, right? Spending a lot, even then, it isn't heavily shoved in your face. You do have things that, of course, if you spend a lot, you may get certain things, but it is not necessary. Even inside of the free-to-play side of things here, a lot of things are actually easily obtainable, or at least obtainable for free-to-plays, and most people can get most characters a lot easier than other gachas, to be honest. Even when it comes down to the banners, just having a 50-50 banner for those who really want to test their luck, and having a guaranteed banner for those who want to also just make sure they're getting the characters is really nice, as well as balancing is really great for the game. As long as Atlus keeps on doing that, I feel like this game, no matter what, will be great. Though there's just some things that I feel like tweaking wise would be even better for it. So if there are Atlus employees out there listening to my videos, which I highly doubt, of course, just let it know. Go ahead, spread it around, spread the news, see if you can get certain things approved, and I feel like these will really help out for the game. But as always, you guys being the viewers, what do you think down below in the comment section? What do you think they should add? What do you think they shouldn't? Because I do have a shouldn't video coming up soon, and I may highlight one of you guys' actual comments. But till then, everybody, peace out.